Good morning, adventurers.
Good morning.
It's another beautiful day in Eureka Springs. False. It's not.
So gross.
The weather has been so gross for like 3 straight days.
I know. Kicker is, the day before we came, it was beautiful, sunny in the 60s, and tomorrow when we leave, it'll be beautiful, sunny in the 60s.
Yeah, just in time. You guys saw in our previous video, we got to explore the town a little bit, but there's still so much more to see here. The town is just outside of Branson, and it's like a little smaller mountain town version of Branson or something like that.
It's super small and tiny and quaint and charming and all of the lovely descriptive words.
Yeah, there's also a bunch of just really cool landmarks to see around the area, so we're gonna check a couple of those out today, including a really crazy church that we saw pictures of online, and we were like, this is in Arkansas?
Yeah, it's really neat. It's out in the middle of the woods. And of course, we'll have to check out some springs because we are in Eureka Springs. But first, like always, we need some breakfast and coffee. For breakfast, we came to this adorable little Mud Street Cafe, which is actually down below ground. In the 1880s when it was built, it was ground level and there was a spring that ran underneath it. I guess it kept flooding and it would flood the street, thus the name Mud Street. Then years and years later, they ended up building up the road. So now it is underground while the road is now a full story above it, which is pretty wild. Sadly, we got here and realized that they stopped serving breakfast at 11, but have no fear, they have the Mud Cafe Annex just a few feet away that serves breakfast all day. So if you come, I would recommend going here for breakfast. If you're late and lazy like us, go to the Annex. Oh my God, I'm so hungry, you guys. Everything looks fantastic. So I kept it a little healthy for my main dish. I got their spicy garlic grits underneath there with a bunch of veggies on top. Normally I might have gone a little bit crazier, but we had to get this bad boy. This is a sour cream pancake, which I think is their specialty here.
It's huge.
Oh my God, it's so big.
I kept it pretty healthy too, you know, biscuits and gravy and everything beige.
It looks delicious. This is what happens when you get too hungry. You just want to eat everything.
It's taken her about 20 minutes to butter this pancake. It's a lot of
Oh
pancake.
man, I'm too in now. I'm invested. Now, the deliciousness. Oh baby. Okay.
All right. That's enough.
That is really good. That sour cream makes it super tangy, like almost like a Greek yogurty kind of ness to it, and it's really nice and crispy and crunchy almost on the outside.
You're gonna finish the whole thing?
I'll probably have like 5 more bites and then I'll leave it to you.
I was just sitting here and Allison was like, there's a bunch of little guys behind you. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? There are a bunch of little guys. She calls them the spurlunkers.
Yeah, it looks like they're exploring a big old cave system. So we were about to leave and then we realized there's a hole in the floor with glass. So you can actually see down to the spring. I don't know if it's coming through on the camera, but apparently there's a huge room, like 3 times as big as this. And people used to be able to go down there, but then there was a big sinkhole, a collapse in the parking lot next to us, and now you can't anymore.
You guys, we found finger hands. These are my favorite. And of course, finger feet. We've just been moseying around and exploring the downtown area. Super charming. Would be much better if this friggin' rain would let up.
Gosh, it sucks. We just keep popping into pretty much every store we come across because it's just so cold and miserable out here. But I see some brightness coming.
Yeah, it's gonna clear up here soon.
Yeah, in the next few minutes.
The city has a lot of history. It's known for being not necessarily mountainous, but having a ton of hills and a ton of stairs. It has all this really old architecture, which is awesome because it kind of gives it a European feel. Because I feel like most of the cities in the US, you don't really find that many old buildings. You know?
Not that many historic or charming buildings all in one area, but the whole downtown is just these lovely old stone and brick buildings wind up all these hills and streets.
We decided we're tired of being soaking wet, so we're gonna wait out the rain by stuffing our faces. Check it out. We actually came to the balcony bar, which is on top of one of the hotels here downtown. An excellent view if it wasn't covered in plastic. But anyways, we came here to try something that is very popular in this area. This is called a huckleberry fried pie. It's almost like a little empanada, but it should be full of huckleberry, which I don't even know that I've had huckleberry in my life. They cover it with all this powdered sugar. It is nice, crispy, fried to perfection. Then they give you a little ice cream on the side. What kind of ice cream is it?
It's huckleberry ice cream.
Huckleberry ice cream, there you go. Huckleberries for days. But it's not just huckleberry that you get. You can get all kinds of different types of filling. All right, enough talking. I'm gonna eat this thing. I've decided to eat it with my hands.
I think that's
Isn't it a hand pie? Oh,
yeah.
Check that out. Oh, man. Wow, it is surprisingly gooey on the inside. This is gonna be my bite right here.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man. Instant tummy ache. In a good way. It's just like a delicious jam-filled donut, but it's hot, crispy on the outside. You can see how moist it still is on the inside. It's like a funnel cake. If you guys have ever had a funnel cake, it's basically just a bunch of batter that's deep fried and then they put powdered sugar on it. It's really popular at like fairs and stuff like that. They actually have them on the street down here too. But this has the added bonus of having all the delicious filling. So skip the funnel cake, come and get the huckleberry pie. Oh, I'm literally gonna eat like 3 bites of this. Jeez.
Wait, our pancake wasn't enough for you this morning?
It's one of those days, you guys. I might actually have to work out for once to burn this off. We found a secret little passageway that takes you down to this spot here where you can actually see the underground waterway. So this is what actually flows under that bar we were in earlier. It just goes all through the town. And then goes out at the edge of town.
That's cool, but also makes me fearful that one day this whole town is just gonna turn into a giant sinkhole and fall in.
It might. But as you guys can see, the weather has cleared up. Yes, my mood has instantly changed with the weather. But now we are going to go and head to see that chapel that we told you guys about in the beginning of the video. Should be one of the most, maybe not, if not the most unique chapel we've ever seen.
And we've seen a lot of chapels.
That we have, like
Probably.
100.
Yeah,
or maybe like 5, I don't know.
I don't know. We just learned that THORNCROWN Chapel was built in 1980. Apparently it was private land before that. A husband and wife purchased the land and people would stop here to get a view of the surrounding area. The views are pretty spectacular. Instead of running everybody off the land, they decided to encourage them to stay by building a chapel. It sounds like it was a bit of a process to get it completed due to funding, but now it is here. And now, as we said, you can come and you can just marvel at it. You can get married here. They actually have church services here. I think on Sundays, look on the website. It's huge. It stands really tall and narrow. It's just so beautiful and unassuming in the middle of the forest here.
Yeah, it's just sitting nestled in this little valley with just pristine forest all around it. It's a really cool place,
Yeah.
I gotta say. It's pretty neat. And there's no other tourists here, so.
I would love to have a house with this many windows. Obviously with curtains for the nighttime, but during the day, oh, I would love this to be my view. They're about to close in like 5 minutes. They're closing early for a wedding, so we're gonna sneak in and check out the inside.
The architecture inside here is insane. Check this out. It's kind of confusing when you look up. What blows us away is that this glass looks crystal clear.
The cleanest glass I've maybe ever seen.
Yeah, I don't know how they keep it so clean.
I really thought this other side was open, but it's
Yeah.
not. And it's so warm and cozy. If you're getting married anytime soon, this is
the
your
place
spot.
to go. There was one more stop we wanted to make today before we leave Eureka Springs tomorrow, and that is to the Blue Spring. And the Blue Spring is this beautiful Blue Spring. And nobody else is here because the rain scared everybody off. And there is parking for a lot of people, so
Yeah.
I think usually this is very crowded. It's a hike that you do around this beautiful crystal clear blue water, and then up here you actually get to the spot that is the source of the spring. It's this circle that they've built this concrete enclosure around. Would you believe that 38 million gallons of water come up from this spring every single day? That's a lot of water.
It's a lot.
And it's actually a really popular diving site. I actually just read in the visitor center that they'd never been to the bottom of it. So it's a mysterious blue spring. But we're actually going to just, before the sun goes down, we're trying to hustle so we can do the hike and then go get in the hot tub. It's hot tub time. It's so cold out here. My feet are freezing. Oh, okay, it's hot. It's really hot.
Oh! How are you in there? I don't know what's worse, the cold or the heat.
It's pretty hot. It's pretty hot.
We're just gonna boil alive. This is, you guys are watching this. Us boiling to death. All right,
Nice
now
and
we're
slow.
good. We're
Nice and slow.
good.
God.
That might be worse than getting into a really cold body of water.
That's relaxation. Okay, that was a dramatic entrance, but it really does feel amazing. I got this thing set to 104, which is on the high end, but it's very tolerable, okay? I like 104, 105.
But it's also in the 30s outside,
Yeah.
so like,
Oh.
it's gonna cool down real quick.
Oh, this is sweet. This is sweet. Oh,
I'm
man.
so happy the rain is gone. Even though it's cold, it is a lovely evening. So we have a few drinks left from last night.
Yes, we're not drunk. We're
No.
just freezing.
Not tonight, at least. But we had so much fun exploring Eureka Springs today. Did you guys know Eureka means I found it? I found it springs.
What do you think
I
when,
found springs.
when people in cartoons and TV shows would yell Eureka?
I found it. Just in case you didn't know. It was, even when it was raining, it was still beautiful and charming, and we had a grand time. If you missed our tour of the caboose from our last video, y'all should check it out. This Airbnb is super quirky and super fun.
Yeah, it's one of the cooler ones, more unique ones that we've stayed in for sure. It reminds us a lot of that World War II bunker. I don't know why. Just because it's so authentic and old and rustic, you know?
I think so, absolutely. Tomorrow we are off on another long driving day to Texas. We have to go to our hometown of Wichita Falls, where we legally live. We're gonna vote and stay the night there, and then we'll be off to Austin, or the Austin area, for a couple days before we are up to Colorado. A lot of fun stuff in the future.
A lot of freezing fun stuff.
Goodbye, adventures.
We'll see you on the road.